Hey there, this is Cannabis and Conspiracies. I am the conspiracy. He's the cannabis. Sometimes he does help with the conspiracy, occasionally. Anyway, uh, if I have a bad connection, sorry guys, we're working on it. But right now, don't let this reflect upon Belmont, who has a real good setup. Anyway, uh, so anyway, we've got a few people in the chat already. Mr. Good Stuff was first.
He was first.
First today. Okay, all right. Little inside work there. Hey, good stuff. Yeah, we started a little bit late. My water wasn't right. I asked for spring water, and all I got was this junk. Anyway, all right, so gotta have the right kind of water.
Well, I set up the stream for 4:35 my time, which is or 4:35
Oh,
Eastern. I mean 2:35 my time.
okay. Gotcha. Marv, greetings, centers. He's just here for a bit. He's dinner time. All right, no problem, man. Anyway, good stuff. Never fear, I'm here. It's always Justin's fault. All right.
Yeah, everybody blames me for everything.
All right, as long as we got that straightened out, and as long as that's clear to everybody. All right. Anyway, today, now I'm going to admit to have been a little bit uninformed about this one. I thought he was talking about the Anton LaVeyan Bible. I didn't realize that this thing existed. That's why I would put the Devil's Book. Not the Devil's Bible. I don't know. It was just a little icky to me to say devil and Bible in the same thing. So,
I figured you didn't want to use those words, whatever. But if you want to change the channel art later on.
well, I mean that's fine. No, that's totally fine. I just didn't put it in the thumbnail that way. It is what it is. But what we are talking about is an actual book that does exist. You can find it in the Swedish capital archives, and you can view it today. So this thing, this is something physical. This crazy thing does exist. It's called the Devil's Bible because there's a big honking devil in it. Anyway, this sorry, this is called the Codex Gigas, for anyone that wants to look it up. Gigas. Giant book. I mean, they're not very creative when they named it, but it is
Well, it's 3 feet. It takes 2 people to pick this thing up, I guess.
Well, it's 165 pounds.
165 pounds of evil.
Yeah, the 160 donkeys died to make that thing. Anyway, it's pure vellum and with crushed insect ink. So it's a pretty sizable tome. Anyway, so this is there's a legend around it that's pretty common. Most people, when they asked about its origin, they'll always mention a individual called Herman. Let me see. Let me find out what they call him. Herman the Recluse. Okay, I wanted to get the word right. Herman the Recluse. Okay. Benedictine monk from way back in 1222. Way back there. Anyway, so this individual, recluse, can mean several things. There's monks that were actually known as recluses, where they had determined to live in obscurity until they finished their work. They were called recluses. They would either abscond themselves to a distant part of the monastery. Some of them even brick themselves in. And they did funerals for them, right? And they would live in that little place doing their work. But the problem is with him being a recluse like that is that this thing, they estimate it would have taken about 20 years to make. So then there's
And
some.
it seems to be written by one person too, not like a bunch of
One
people.
person, yeah, and they seem to have the same penmanship from the start to the finish, which is weird. There didn't seem to be any mood changes. There didn't seem to be any alterations. So if you were to look on the surface, the book appears to be written at one time in one sitting, which would be impossible, supposedly. Except for the lore. Okay, let's get into the lore. Okay, evidently, according to the legend, Herman was a bad boy. Okay, had done something to basically break his vows. In that day and age, they would do horrible things to people all the time, for just looking at a chick the wrong way. So. Breaking his vows could have been as simple as taking a bite to eat when he was supposed to be fasting for Lent or something. But the sentence was that he was to be bricked up into a wall and starved to death. Yeah. Okay. That they had some harsh. They had some like harsh penalties. All right. Anyway.
I think so.
Okay. Well, according to the lore, when before the last brick got put in place, Herman made the master of the monastery made him a deal that if he would give him one more night to live, that he would write down all of human history and make a manuscript that they could that would shine glory on the monastery for all time. And so this evidently they're like, okay, this is impossible. Nobody can do this. What? Why not just give him one night? And so they gave him the materials through the hole in the wall, and they left him there. And so he went to work. Except this is an impossible task. He realizes impossibility, and so because God was on the outs with him at that time, he decided that he was going to go with the opposite number. And so legend has that he prayed to the other guy. So, hence the name Devil's Bible. Okay. And so the other guy shows up, and the deal was for exchange for Herman's soul, he would write the book for Herman. So evidently Herman handed over soul, and Devil went to work. Okay, now they came in the morning. The manuscript was done. It included pretty much all of known history at that time, including the Josephus. Josephus book, which was the history of the Jews. Had all the Bible at that time, and Latin Bible Vulgate version. It also had several other manuscripts, Chronica Memoriam, and some other ones. But it also had some a calendar with necrology, magic formula, and things like that. So this thing basically it just pretty much had everything in there. He must have gone down to Georgia. No, he didn't go down to Georgia.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Todd from Redshift Comics snuck in here, and Kate.
Yep. Oh, hey, Kate. Hello. Anyway.
Yeah, so time was running out. He wanted to save his life. God wasn't answering his prayers, so he started praying to Satan and told Satan he can have his soul. In return, needs to create a book for him so he can save his own life. And supposedly this book was made in one night.
Mm-hmm. Which holds up several times. There's been studies done to this tome that seem to indicate that it seemed to have one author's hand, which was odd. Most manuscripts are like done by committee, but this seemed to have one author's hand. It's gigantic, and it has some illustrations in it that are really, really intricate. Like there's a gigantic Satan in it, which is what it's known for. But across the page to the other side, you'll find what looks like a depiction of heaven, so the city of God, and there it is, right? And so all these seem to be done with the same hand. It all seems to be done with the same ink. And oddly enough, it all seems to be done by the same guy in the same period of time, because there's usually something that 20 years on, you'll see changes in the way they write things. You know, they'll get better or they'll get worse. You know, arthritis will come in. So there's usually some change to the hand that is writing. But in this one, it's really strange that the handwriting doesn't seem to drift at all. Everything's shaped the same way. There's no improvement or decrease in the penmanship, which is pretty simple penmanship. You know, for them it's pretty simple. For us, it's like, oh my God, that's calligraphy is incredible. But for them it's like simple. But it never improved or never got worse, so that shouldn't happen either. This thing is just gigantic.
Look how thick that is.
Yeah, it's 8.7 inches thick.
Yeah, no woman can complain about that.
No, that's pretty nice size. Thanks for making it weird. Anyway,
no problem. See, she's smiling. See, she's holding all that girth.
Yeah. She's definitely holding some girth there. Let me see. I had the size of it somewhere. Let me look it up right quick. But it's all right. It's 36 inches long. All right, 20 inches wide, and 8.7 inches thick. It's the largest known medieval manuscript. It weighs in at 165 pounds. And it's composed of 310 leaves of vellum claimed to have been done from the skins of 160 donkeys. But some people think it might be just calf skin. But anyway, it includes illuminations, which is like scribe. They call it scribal gloss, where there's like different colors in the ink. They'll do like a really intricate lettering, and they'll have a different color in it.
Like that?
But like that. Red, blue, yellow, green, and gold. But that's what they call illuminated manuscript, and this one's got a lot of illuminations in it, including a 20-inch tall devil at some point. Look at the intricacy of that. It's pretty incredible. So I mean, this thing is just it's like a one-off. It has a lot of really strange things that are unique to it that no other manuscript appears to have. But
I think it's written in Latin. The whole book is written in Latin.
Yeah. At that time, it was the lingua franca of the world, pretty much. But Latin was in its. Let's see, is a devil's illustration somewhere? You got the devil illustration? But yeah. But look at the intricacy of that. It's just incredible. There we go. There he is. The devil illustration, he's clothed in a white loincloth, small comma-shaped red dashes. Those dashes have been interpreted as tails of ermine furs, common symbol of sovereignty. He has no tail. His body, arms, and legs are normal human proportions. Feet and hands and feet end with 4 fingers and toes each, terminating in large claws. Both his claws and large horns are in red. It's a large dark green head. Hair forms a skull cap with dense curls. The eyes are small with red pupils. The red tipped ears are large. An open mouth reveals small white teeth. 2 long red tongues protrude from the corners of his mouth. But it speaks out of both sides of his mouth. It's a symbol of somebody that doesn't tell a lot of truth. But yeah, so the several pages before this double spread are written in yellow characters on a blackened parchment, which is a very gloomy character, somewhat different from the rest of the Codex. The reason for the variation in coloring is the pages of the Codex are vellum, and which are animal hide tans exposed to ultraviolet light. And over centuries, the pages most frequently have developed this telltale darker color. So gives a whole new meaning to the 24-hour comics challenge. Oh yeah. That's but I mean, it's got like pretty much every like manuscript known at that time. But it's got Satan on the right side, and on the left side it has a depiction of heaven.
Empty heaven.
Yeah. But yeah, it's like a Revelation's description of heaven. It's pretty. It's even more intricate if you go like in on that. It has a lot of different intricacy to it. Maybe even more intricate than the devil. But it's got like individuals, buildings. It's got all these little like flourishes and things like that. I mean, this thing would have taken well over months and months and months to have drawn, very carefully. Yeah, it's even more amazing than the devil is. But it doesn't get mentioned as much because the devil's Bible. But this illustration is just really spectacular, and it looks like he spent more time on it than he did the devil. I mean, it's just really incredible. But it's from the books in the West are all written by hand to Johannes Gutenberg, invented the printing press. Ironically, Chinese invented it 400 years earlier. But well, us Europeans do everything first, Melvin. Come on now. Anyway. But if you look at it, it's based on the scripture. In my house are many rooms, but it's just really incredible. The detail you see on this thing, it's just
look at this.
Yeah. That's we kind of accuse some of these comic book guys that we know of being like over rendering something, but man, you talk about over rendering, they over rendered the shit out of this stuff, man. That's a P. There you go. You got the P for the whole page, and that's like the first letter. I mean, this thing is just really incredible. Scientists have studied this thing for centuries now, and they're still pretty much just completely, totally mystified by it. But this thing's been around for quite some time. Well, so if indeed somebody named Herman Recluse did this thing, the detail in those letters are incredible. Yeah,
he's better letterer than Eric Weathers.
There you go. Yeah. Well, you heard it. Herman the Recluse kicks Eric Weathers' ass.
Yeah, but his page rate was higher back then even.
Yeah. Right. His page rate was his soul. So I think Eric's cheaper than that. I'm pretty sure he's cheaper than that.
Since I had all those slides of the devil, I had to put... I put some prayers
Right.
at the end of the slideshow,
Yeah.
just in case.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. Well, the thing about it is, you start messing with the devil, he starts messing with you. So we were very kind of careful about this today. So
Yeah, the devil
anybody
followed
that's
me yesterday. Did you see that?
yeah, he on Facebook, somebody called Satan followed him.
No, on YouTube.
On YouTube, okay, on YouTube, yeah. Somebody named Satan followed him on YouTube, so we could have his infernal majesty watching today. I don't know. Anyway, first to discover India, try to explain India was never lost, and the people there since before Portugal was a country. Yeah. The Indians would be the people in India would be very surprised that they were lost. You know. Anyway, what can I say? Yeah, resist the devil, he will flee. Yep. Yeah. Well, we got you. Well, the thing about this book, though, is I'm not entirely sure it's as sinister as people say it is. I really honestly think that that this guy, yeah, pretty creepy, man. It's pretty creepy. But I honestly think this guy, if he, why would he put the like heaven across from Satan and make heaven more beautiful than Satan? Just yeah, absolutely. The Satan had some detail, but this heaven depiction had incredible detail. So obviously he was slanted that way. So I mean,
He was desperate. You know what I mean? He just wanted to live.
Well, according to the legend, yeah. According to the legend, yeah. So anyway,
where did he get the supplies? To do all this, even if he could do it on one night. You know what I mean? Where do the supplies come from?
Yeah. Well, I mean, whatever the real story is on that, the legend certainly is pretty has some proponents to it, But anyway, it has a Book of Maccabees, Josephus. I mean, all sorts of all sorts of documents at that time. And how did he do it all from memory? I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, it's not a lot.
It'd probably take months and months just to plan that book out.
Right. But I mean, the whole thing about Satan being involved, it's kind of like when we're talking about the Bible code. I mean, there's so many things like embedded into that language, embedded into that, and the meanings and stuff like that. So I mean, it's just really incredible that this thing even exists, and the fact it's been preserved this long, it's just bizarre. Kate says, my question is, did he keep knocking on door for paper and different color ink? I don't know. But it's got pretty much all the inks that are available at that time. It was really, really intricately drawn and calligraphy. So all we know is this thing exists. Now,
yeah, I got the video of it being shown at a museum.
All right, let's play that, man.
There is an interesting exhibition in the Prague's Czech National Library. At the end of the 30 Years' War, in the year 1648, the entire art collection of Emperor Rudolf II was stolen from the Prague's castle by the plundering Swedish army. A part of the treasure was the Codex Gigas, giant book, also known as the Devil's Bible, the largest medieval manuscript in the world. From 1649, the manuscript is kept in the Swedish Royal Library in Stockholm. In September 2007, Codex Gigas returned to Prague on the loan from the Swedish government. The Codex was created in the Benedictine monastery of Podlažice near Chrudim, which was destroyed during the 15th century in the Hussites' War. Records in the Codex and in the year 1229. For this mystic picture, this book is also called the Devil's Bible. It contains some of the Benedictines' order knowledge, the War of the Jews, a Cosmos Chronicle of the Bohemian Kingdom, a list of saints, and a guideline how to determine the date of Easter. The exhibition covers the history of the Codex, from its inception to its current resting place in Sweden.
There you go. So it actually came from there, and it was returned to there, to Prague, but it came from the Czech Republic. Yeah, Portugal is in 1143 because of Portuguese and Indian. 1947 is Google right? I have no idea. The answer Google is right. If Google is right or not is usually no. No, it's not. Anyway. All right. So the manuscript was created in Palaci in Bohemia, which is now modern Czech Republic, and it was like sold from that monastery to another monastery, and it's really odd because that monastery just didn't have the resources to create something like that. But it was there, and then they sold it to another monastery and then promptly burned down. So that monastery, it was there for a while. It got sacked by Rudolph II and 30 Years War, and who was known to have been a little bit of a dabbler in the occult. He was known to have a lot of manuscripts and a lot of things that the church would frown upon. But he had that for a while, and then the Swedes. I'm sorry, it wasn't sacked during the 30 Years War, but Rudolph. It came to Rudolph, okay, and then it was taken by the Swedes in the 30 Years War. I'm sorry. But now it's like preserved in the National Library of Sweden in Stockholm. Okay. Now, several things have happened over the years that people think there's a curse on it, right? The first monastery going broke, having to sell it. Then they burn down. Then the next monastery gets sacked. And everybody seems that had it in their possession appeared to have like misfortune or bad luck. Frederick II was betrayed by his own family. But that's just typical politics, European royal politics at that time. I
wouldn't touch it or store it.
Yeah, exactly. Now it was stored in a castle in Sweden, the capital of Sweden, Stockholm. Now, and it was stored there until there was a fire that broke out, and they were throwing manuscripts out the window trying to save them, and evidently they threw this 165-pound manuscript out, and according to eyewitnesses, it landed on somebody.
Wow.
Talk about ruining somebody's day.
It's just 165 pounds.
Just a 165-pound book, landed on them. And so it said it injured them. So I don't know how that doesn't kill somebody, but it is what it is. So it got preserved. But they said that the binding got broken loose by the fall, and about 10 pages of it went walking off. They don't know what happened to them.
What happened to those missing pages? What are they? I'm interested.
Right. What's on those 10 pages? Some of the reports are that there were spells on those pages that would bring about the end of the world. Some other stuff that Those pages have really been built up over the years. It might just be like his laundry list, that he left in the Bible. Who the heck knows at this point, right? But
there is 2 spells supposedly in the book still. I don't know what the spells are, but
right.
Maybe there were additional spells, and that's what those other pages are.
Yeah.
Maybe his favorite recipes is mom's meatloaf.
Right. Could be anything. Could be anything. Could be like a spell to bring about the end of the world. Hojo needs to put that in the mythicals. Because he's got like this big build up thing going on. What if his build up was the 10 pages missing out of the Satan's Bible? We're doing your job for you, Hojo. We're doing your job for you here, man. Anyway, he's over there right now. That's why I'm ragging him. But yeah, so what we do know about it is that this thing it shouldn't exist in the form it's in. The authorship is bizarre. The size of it's really, really unique to that book, that particular codex, and the things that are written in it represented the known knowledge of that time, and it's all been done by one hand, So, I mean, this thing is pretty incredible. But it still exists today to be looked at. It's like some supernatural, that in itself. There's so many documents that are lost, and yet that one remains almost completely, totally untouched. I mean, just readable. It's readable. It's just sitting there, almost perfect form. It's really bizarre. You got another book? Got another video for us?
Yeah. I got a couple different videos. We got facts about the Devil's Bible. If you want to go into that one, or
yeah. Let's see that one. All right.
So a lot of the stuff we already talked about, but there was a couple new things in there that we didn't mention. Points.
Right. I think we mentioned most of everything was in there. I'm wrong. It was 30 years, not 20. So I got that wrong. Yeah, not perfect.
Still a long time, you know what I mean? It's not possible to write anything like that or any book in general unless you're going to like Chat GPT. You know what I mean? You're not going to write a book in a night.
Well, he had, that means Chat GTP back then was the devil.
Yeah.
So, still is today. There, anyway.
Yeah, if you ask it certain things, it won't type it out for you. It tells you, no, I can't do that. Sorry about that. How do I get rich fast? Exactly. Sorry, there's no quick way to be rich. You have to work hard or something. It told me. I just wanted to see what it would say.
Right. Well, as many get-rich schemes as you've been involved in, I imagine so. Anyway, so Kate in Orlando says, "Can you show us the pages again? If time creepy." Melvin Deeply, Marv got a whole speech on Marv there. India got independence from UK, 1947. Existed thousands of years before British showed up. They had civilization while Portugal still had cavemen. No, shots fired. Okay. All right. Yeah, Kate in Orlando, no writer's cramps. There's a very distinctive thing that happens to the calligraphy when somebody has a writer's cramp or when they have arthritis or something like that. There's like some very signature things about how he lettering, like his E's were very distinctive, and it's the same way the whole way through. Doesn't seem to be any variation. Doesn't seem to be a drift. So it really looks like somebody did this in one time, one sitting. As incredible sounds. Yeah, Hojo says, bro, 5K today. Yeah. Congratulations, my friend. But yeah, so cavemen started civilization, RV says. All right. You're having a penis measuring over there. It is.
Is anybody as thick as the Bible, the Satan Bible?
I don't think anybody's 8.7. No, I don't think so. That's moving up into John Holmes territory there. Anyway,
if you do, you should probably enter the porn industry.
Yes, you should. Yeah. There you go. Anyway, all right.
Let's do a prayer or something, man. I feel like
Yeah. We're getting off the rails here. Anyway, so but yeah, so this thing exists. It's available today for you to look at. It's physically there. All the scholars are still scratching their heads about it. I didn't know Satan had a Bible. Well,
that's why we're talking about it. Not a lot of people know about this.
Yeah.
I just thought the story was intriguing, you know what I mean? That he somehow cut a deal with the devil and this magnificent book was created in one night. So I wanted to talk about it.
I've set Kate in Orlando again. I'm so sorry,
again?
Kate.
Holy shit.
Again,
every episode funny.
Every episode, man. I upset that poor lady. I don't know what's wrong with me. Anyway, it's all right. Yeah, so I mean, people are still scratching their heads about this thing. I didn't know about it. Codex Gigas. I know it existed. I thought he was talking about Anton LaVey Bible, the same Bible or whatever. But no,
I thought you might have got them mixed up. I was like,
I did. I tried to get.
I saw the picture you used for the thumbnail, and I was like, "Oh, I think you got them mixed up." But we don't have time right now, so just.
Well, the thing about it is, though, is the actual Codex big Gigas wouldn't have fit on my thumbnail, so I've been too big for a thumbnail, and plus it doesn't look scary enough. So I went ahead with Necronomicon, in human skin. Anyway. There you go. Yeah,
it's really
my
human
research
skin?
better. Yeah. It's supposed to be human skin. It's supposed to be bound in human skin. You know, it's what it is. Anyway,
did you ever wonder why, you know, God allows Satan to live?
well, I don't know. Bigger people than me have like tackled that. Anyway, but the idea is that for good to exist, for people to have the choice to do good, you have to have the choice. So evil has to exist for good to have scope. Uh, so if there's if you have to make a choice for good or for bad, you know, that has to be a bad to make a choice or to turn away from to for something to be good. So it has to exist for that purpose, if nothing else. Yeah, I mean, yeah, this is his world, man. He has the run of it. That's very clear in scripture. You need to watch last week's show, Hojo. Okay. Well, thank you, Hojo. Yeah, you haven't watched in a while, dude. Anyway.
Once in a while, Pothead comes up with a good idea.
Yeah, every once in a while. Occasionally. Anyway, add it to the to-do list, Bunny. Okay, well, I got you. You need to watch last week's show. Yep. Uh, Mysteries. Google the Baltic Sea anomaly. What do you think that thing is? I don't know. I'll have to look at it. This is almost like that movie in The Ninth Gate. Yeah, except that was a satanic Bible. Yeah. Anyway, so basically, what's going on here is as this thing is just sitting there, existing on this plane of existence, and you know, it's practically preserved. You know, I mean, it's got these illustrations in it that are just really bizarre. And it's got an intricacy to it that shouldn't be possible for one person. And yet, the hand that they, all the handwriting experts have said it's just one hand that did it, but they had no drift or whatsoever. So seems like it's been done in one sitting, which would be impossible. So there it is. That's the mystery. I mean, what do you think it is, Belmont?
If it's true, you know, it kind of proves that, you know, the devil exists.
Oh, he exists.
Did you ever have an encounter with the devil?
I believe I have. Yes, a couple times. Yeah, couple times. You know it when you run into it. Trust me. But yeah, a couple times. But
Edwin's stuck in here. I didn't even see that.
Oh, there you go. White Leopard, April 28th. It's going to be on FMC, so pay attention to that one. Anyway, evidently, yeah. So if you want to go and see it, it is available right there in Stockholm, Sweden. They loaned it out to Prague for a little while, but it's back in Stockholm, Sweden. Right there under glass. If you want to go see it, there it is.
No, I don't have any interest in seeing it. Seeing it on the internet is, close enough for me.
Well, you can look at the pages are all been digitized. So if you want to look at the inside of the pages, they're there. You can look at the whole thing.
Well, I can't read Latin, though. It's a problem.
Well, that is a problem. That is a problem. But just to look at them, I mean, the pages are just intricate. I mean, the intricacy of it almost makes your skin crawl. You know.
Yeah, those big letters going down the whole page, and
right.
Gold lettering on the pages, and
yeah. But
absolutely amazing.
If you look at the heaven drawing, if you really go in on that heaven drawing. I mean, there's some like really, really incredible detail. I mean, it's just amazing. Baltic Sea anomaly looks like a spaceship sitting there at the bottom of the sea. It was discovered in 20.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about now. Okay. I didn't know it was called that, but yes, I know what you're talking about. It looks like a rock almost, but it's a spaceship shape. And you're saying, it's just a natural formation. It's just a rock. It just happens to look like a spaceship underwater that's been rotting away for centuries.
Right. Is there a translation out there? Yeah. Well, most of these documents that are in the Devil Bible are very well documented elsewhere. Like Josephus, his history of the Jews, the Jewish people. The history of Bohemia. These books are like the Bible. The Bible has been pretty much unchanged all these since it was written. There's like indication that the Bible, we have like pieces of the Bible that date all the way back to like 50 years, less than 50 years after it was written, which is the longest. It's called provenance. Okay. It's the most perfect provenance of any document in world history. There's nothing even close to the Bible when it comes to from writing to copies that we have. It's like just less than a lifetime. So it's pretty incredible, especially, every Bible. The Bible's so well preserved that when they found the Dead Sea Scrolls, they found out that there was very little drift in the scripture. The Dead Sea Scrolls were hundreds of years earlier.
2 words different or something, like 2 words were different or something like that.
It was very negligible. Yeah, it was very negligible. Anyway. Evidently, we're dealing with RV here is not a believer, but that's fine, man.
I think the devil's messing with your internet connection.
Yeah, I guess so. Anyway, so that's you got anything else to share with us?
I have a video about why God allows Satan to exist, but you kind of like answered it, but this guy kind of like gives you the long answer.
All right, let's see it. Let's watch it.
If God is sovereign, then it's clear that he could destroy Satan at any time. Why does God allow Satan to live? And that is one of the questions that I try to answer in the book. That's not just on top of the book. That's right at the heart of the book. But before I answer it, let's make sure that we agree that it's true, that God could take him out anytime he chose. Because I think there's some who would say, he really can't because of rights or authority or independence or free will that Satan has. But the reason I know he can take him out without turning me into an automaton or breaking any rules is because he's going to take him out. He's going to throw him into the lake of fire. And the question is, why didn't he do it yesterday? If he had done it yesterday, I wouldn't be tempted the way I am today. And the Bible says, lead me not into temptation. Well, the best way not to be led into temptation is to take the tempter away, isn't it? Take him out. I've got sin in my life of plenty to get me to have a struggle. I don't need Satan on top of this sin that I have to make my life miserable. So God, take him out, because you have a right to take him out. You have the power to take him out. You're doing nobody wrong when you take him out. Take him out. And he doesn't do it. Why? Now, the Bible doesn't answer why directly. And so it's kind of inferences that we go on, but here's my best shot. God has ordained that Satan have a long leash, with God holding on to the leash, because he knows that when we walk in and out of those temptations, struggling both with the physical effects that they bring and the moral effects that they bring, more of God's glory will shine in that battle than if he took him out yesterday. There will be evidences of God's patience with us as we struggle with sin, evidences of his mercy to us as we struggle with sin, evidences of his sustaining grace through horrific physical suffering that Satan was the immediate cause of. It says that in the Bible. This woman was struck by Satan for 18 years. She had this bent over back, and Satan was doing it, and God was ordaining that he be allowed to do it. And all of that the glory of God, his mercy, his justice, his grace, his wisdom would shine more brightly. And we can argue with that. We can say, I don't agree. I don't think God should run the world this way. And if we ultimately disagree, then we will reject God, we'll reject the biblical testimony, and we will perish forever in hell. And I choose to trust him that his way of managing the devil and managing evil that comes at me is wiser than the way I might choose to manage it. And
so,
okay, all right.
It's just God's way.
Yeah, well, Marvy says, I saw a documentary right there. You go. All right, I saw a documentary. Experts said that when it was first translated from Aramaic to Greek, lots of texts were badly translated, and they're trying to do it right this time. Okay. Yeah. Well, the thing about it is, though, is if you look at the translations, the modern translations are, in a lot of ways, more accurate. The Bible's getting more accurate as we go, and that's bizarre because that's never happened to any manuscript in world history. So there's a lot of amazing stuff about the Bible. That's why that Bible code is kind of like has legitimacy to me. This document's like supernatural.
It makes like the Bible like three-dimensional.
Yeah, I mean, that Bible's got the Bible's a supernatural document. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I mean, you look at all the things that are involved.
It's almost like this particular computer. You know what I mean? How it's got all these different matrices inside of them, hidden inside layers and layers.
Right. Well, check out our Bible code. One's really fascinating earlier. But the thing about it is, though, is this Bible here has been around since the 11th century, AD, and it's just it's set there for anybody to check out and look at. Was it written by Satan? Was it written, in the middle of the night by the devil himself? I don't know. But there are a lot of anomalies involved with this Bible that just nobody can explain. But it's just sitting there. It exists. It's in Stockholm, Sweden right now. You can take a look at it. There you go.
And it's cursed, supposedly.
Well, it has nothing's burnt down since the first library. So I don't know. But anyway, either way, that's all pretty much what we got for today. You got any concluding thoughts?
Don't fuck around with the devil. Don't use Ouija boards.
That's a good thought.
Don't.
No.
If you get depressed, you get into a really low point in your life. Don't give up hope. Don't go, the dark path.
Right. And just know that if you start pursuing him, he'll start pursuing you. You start looking into him, he'll start looking into you. So just proceed with caution. I would say that much. As someone who once upon the time went looking for him, and I will say that he is somebody that you a lot of caution. Anyway, once again, we're not here to make conclusions. We're here to give you the facts and let you make your own conclusions. Because here at the Cannabis and Conspiracies, truth is high.
Hi.
So have a good afternoon.
Yeah, and we're going to change our time slot to 6 p.m. Starting next Tuesday. 6 p.m. Eastern.
Starting next Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern. So pay attention. All right. Later, everybody.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army. Army officers say the missile, found sometime last week, has been inspected at Roswell, New Mexico, and sent to Wright Field, Ohio, for further inspection.
The very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society. And we are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret societies, to secret oaths, and to secret proceedings.
When I was in England, I experimented with marijuana a time or two, and I didn't like it, and didn't inhale, and never tried it again.